And welcome to the Making Motherhood Magical podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Mae Bride, and I'm here to help you find the magic in every day so that you can be more present and available for your family without compromising your goals, identity, or priorities. So come with me on this journey and let's make some magic, moms. Welcome back to the Making Motherhood Magical podcast. I am your host, Jamie Mae Bright, and I am super excited to start today's episode. And we're going to start it off with our magic moment of the week. My magic moment of the week this week involves the moon. And some of you that don't know me might not know that I am a little bit obsessed with the moon. The moon is my jam. I was born on a full moon, so I'm one of those people that absolutely adore full moon. They do not make me crazy. They make me really focused. But not only that, my very first word was moon. So that is how much I love the moon. My dad used to take me out in the backyard and let me look at the moon whenever it was time for my mom to leave to go to night school. And so my mom would go and take classes at night, and my dad would take me outside to look at the moon so that I didn't notice that mom was sneaking off to class. So I love the moon. And so anytime my family kind of has a moment with the moon, it always seems so magical to me. And the other day, I'm getting the kids ready for school. It's probably, 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning. And my husband had already left for work and he called me and he's like, go outside right now. And so I'm like, okay. So I go outside right now and he's like, look at the moon. And I'm like, I don't see the moon. He's like, it's setting. You can see it. It's huge. And I was like, the way the neighborhood is, I literally cannot see it, babe. I am so sorry. I thank you for calling me. It meant everything in the world to me that he wanted to share this big, huge full moon setting, but I missed it. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of sad, but I had to get the kids ready for school. We had to do what we had to do. We were running a little bit late, which is not abnormal, but this year I've been much better at getting in there on time. But we were running just a little bit late. So I dropped them off in a different spot than what I normally drop them off at. And when we came around the corner of the backside of the school, there was this giant full moon setting right in front of us. And Zeke goes, look at the moon. And so then we all looked at the moon right before they got out to go to school. And it was just this little tiny moment that I got to have with my kids that I kind of feel like I got to share with my husband also, because he's the one that was like, go look at the moon in the first place. And so the fact that my family is starting to notice how much they enjoy things like that is really truly magical to me. And as a mom, it really warms my magical heart when my kids take notice of things like the moon and the moon phases and things like that. So that was my magic moment of the week. And so now let's get started with today's episode. Today's episode is going to be all about color and how we can use color to bring more magic into our lives. Color is something that is around us all the time that we may or may not even pay attention to, but it actually changes our behavior depending on what colors we surround ourselves with, what colors we wear, what colors are outside in nature. If you think about right now, this time of year, it's more drab. There's not big green leaves and beautiful yellow flowers everywhere. Things are brown. Right now is snowy, so everything is white, which is absolutely one of my favorite times of year. I absolutely adore snow. And I think that next week I'm going to do a episode on snow magic, because I think snow magic is way underrated. Snow is a really cool thing to work with. And right now it has been snowing since about 3 o'clock this morning, and it is now 3 o'clock this afternoon. So we have about 12 hours of snow outside, and it is just beautiful and I love it. So right now I'm surrounded by white. It's making me feel very clear and very focused and very renewed and almost purified. And those are some of the feelings that white evokes. So before we get into the magical side and properties of color, we are going to talk about this more scientific side, and that is color psychology. Color psychology is the study of colors and hues as a determinant of human behavior. So lots of businesses use colors in order to make us behave differently. Think about what colors a McDonald's is or what colors a Taco Bell's is. We begin to associate those colors with those businesses. And so you may see red and yellow and start craving McDonald's fries and not even think about that being a connection to it. But color does change our behavior, and marketing firms use it all the time. So if they can use it to change our behavior, I think we can use it to change our own behavior also. Um, Color influence perceptions that are not obvious, such as taste of food. If you think about it, think what colors of food that you eat. If strawberries were blue instead of red, would they taste the same? And some vegetables like carrots, for example, they come in a variety of colors. Everybody thinks there's only orange carrots, but that is not true. There's purple carrots, and there's varying shades between purple and orange that you can get. Their heirloom varieties. And same with tomatoes. I get yellow tomatoes, I get orange tomatoes, I get green tomatoes, I get purple and black tomatoes. And I love making a salad with all these different colors of tomatoes because it really just brings in the magic of nature to me, to my, tomato salad or whatever I'm making with tomatoes, if there's a variety of colors. And this time of year, I would love to get my hands on some different colored tomatoes because I need some more color in my life. Everything is just in winter mode and hibernation mode. And I'm already starting to get that itch of wanting to, spring to start coming in. And I know I can't rush it. I know I have to sit here and enjoy my winter like a hermit, like the Hanged Man. If you're into tarot, that'll make sense. If not, we'll have tarot episodes up later that you can learn more about that. But when I started doing the research on color, one of the websites that was very, very helpful is called colorpsychology.org. And I am going to try to share the screen with you so that I can show you what exactly that looks like because it has some really cool. Okay, so here we are, colorpsychology.org. We've got drop down. So under red, we've got burgundy, maroon, magenta, fuchsia, blah, blah, blah. So under each color is more colors so that you can go and you can choose a color and it's going to tell you baby blue is a pale soft blue. It also is going to give you actual, like, say you were going to go get paint made for it. It's giving you the numbers and stuff for the specific color that you're looking for. And then it's schematic. So I highly suggest playing around on this website. It's a really cool website. So go to colorpsychology.org and check it out. It's pretty fun. Let me stop screen sharing. There we go. How color influence individuals may differ depending on age, gender, and culture. Although color associations can vary contextually between, color preference is thought to be a relatively uniform across gender and race. So that means that even though cultural things are going to take, they're going to take kind of a backstage of what we feel about color, because depending on where, if you put something red, white, and blue in front of an American, it's going to mean something completely different than if you put it in front of a Brazilian, because a Brazilian is probably not going to feel patriotic with the colors of red, white, and blue brought before them. So you have to think about how our culture influences what we think about color. But across the board, the colors, for the most part, evoke the same type of behavior and the same type of emotions. And they found that It's relatively uniform as far as gender preference, as far as what men prefer in colors and what women prefer in colors. It's pretty standard across the board. They did not go into detail what those colors were. You might dig around on colorpsychology.com and see if it does to go more into depth in that. And if so, please share in the notes with me. I'm very interested as to all of that. But one of the pioneers of modern color psychology is Carl Jung. And if you're not familiar with Carl Jung, he and Sigmund Freud were kind of like the two different schools of psychology. And I happen to be more of a Jungian. I like what I always, since my very first psychology class, was like, I think Carl Jung has it. I think Sigmund Freud doesn't have it. And not that Sigmund Freud doesn't have a lot of things that were very valid, but I just really it really resonated more with me how Carl Jung took a look at psychology. So if you are not familiar with Jung, I highly, highly suggest you getting more familiar. And I have a great book recommendation. It's a very short book. It's part of a series of books, but my friend actually wrote it. Her name is Sarah Milne, and the name of the book is called Who the Hell is Carl Jung? So it's a good short little read. It's very concise. It's going to give you a ton of information about him. And if you are into magical practices, it is going to really benefit you. You're really going to like that book. So I will put the link to Who the Hell is Carl Jung by Sarah Milne in the show notes so that you can order it. It's available on Amazon and I'm sure probably other book dealers, but I know I got mine through Amazon. I think it was about $10. I highly, highly, highly suggest checking it out. But long, long, long before Carl Jung started studying color psychology, they 2000 over 2000 no not 2000 years ago 4000 years ago in 2000 BC, as it has been shown that the Egyptians documented that they used color cures by using painted rooms or sunlight shining through crystals as therapy. So for 4000 years humans have been using color to help heal and to help change mood and behavior and actions. So to me, if something has been going on for 4000 years, I think that there's going to be something behind it. And I truly do believe that colors influence us in ways that we don't notice and that we don't realize. And it's just super interesting to me to look into what colors mean and how you can use colors to bring, a different mood onto you. You can completely change your mood by changing what color clothes you're wearing. I'm wearing white today because today is astrologically a white day. And I'm glad it snowed. It's just everything is very white today. It's been a great day. And it's just I love it when it all matches up like that. I love to be surrounded by a color that just completely resets my mood. In addition to the Egyptians using color for cures, the ancient Chinese also did this. And there is one book that's called the Huangdi Neijing. It documented color diagnoses associated with color healing practices. And they believe that it could be written as early as 2600 BC. So 600 years before the Egyptians were documenting it. So we're still talking about a very, very long time that humans have been using color to help heal themselves. So if you would like to check out more about color psychology, like I said, go to colorpsychology.org and just play around. It's really, really cool. I'm going to go through the colors that they listed as the what's associated with them. And then in a little bit, when we go over the magical associations with colors, you're going to see that a lot of them overlap in a lot of different ways. So red is associated with passion, love, anger, and excitement, but it can also be associated with strength, power, courage, and danger, which danger kind of seems different from the rest of them. But think about culturally, we make danger signs are often in red. So warnings on, warning labels on things are often in red. So especially in the United States, culturally, red can be identified as a danger or a warning. Orange is associated with energy, happiness, and vitality. Green is associated with new beginnings, abundance, and nature. Blue is associated with calm, responsible, and sadness. I think that responsible is interesting, but if you think about it, a lot of people that are in uniforms that are like, think about public transport. They're probably going to be wearing something blue. And you would want someone that's driving the bus that you're riding on with many other people to be a responsible person. And so putting them in blue is automatically going to make you feel more at ease with, them driving. I don't know if y'all don't like other people driving you. I have huge anxiety around other people driving me. And so I think honestly, it probably would make me feel a little bit better, at least somewhere here in my back brain. Purple is associated with creativity, royalty, and wealth. Black is associated with mystery, elegance, and evil. Gray is associated with moody, conservative, and formality. Think about the way people use gray, just kind of like in the corporate world. It is used in formal set. Like there's a lot of meeting rooms, conference rooms that are painted gray, or maybe they have gray furniture. And it does have like a gray suit to me feels a lot more conservative than a blue suit would. If a man was wearing a gray suit and a gray tie, he would just to me in general feel like a more conservative person. So that is why gray is associated with that. Pink is associated with softness, being reserved, but also being earthy. So I don't see the earthy connection, but this is what colorpsychology.org is saying. So I'm going with what they said. And in a minute, we're going to get into why we may feel different about things like that. White is associated with truth, but it's also associated with indifference. Whenever you're indifferent about something, you don't really have an opinion either way. And since white is like a blank slate and it does not have any color, it's the lack of color, then it could definitely signify indifference. One thing that we do all need to keep in mind when we are dealing with color, whether it's just what we're using in our homes or what we're, wearing or surrounding ourselves with, is that all of our life experiences are going to give us a different spin on colors. Some colors are going to mean something completely different to someone just because of maybe a life experience that they had. For example, I do not like the color pink. I do not like working with pink. There is very little pink in my home. I think I own 2 shirts that have pink in them. I'm not a pink person. And I've never been a pink person. I can remember when I was just almost 4 years old, my mom painted mine and my little sister's bedroom pink. And then she stenciled strawberries on the wall, and it was like a strawberry shortcake room. And yes, it was adorable. And yes, I love strawberry shortcake, but I absolutely did not want a pink room. And then when I was in 5th grade, we moved into a new house and I got an all new bed set, and it was kind of like a floral set, and it had kind of a burgundy and then also like a dusty rose, and kind of like it had several different colors of pink and green in it. And I really, really wanted my room to be green. But instead, my mom once again painted it pink. And then around the top, she stenciled burgundy roses with the dark green leaves. So she did work in the green, but not in the whole wall, just in the stencils. So twice in my life, I have been subjected to pink rooms that I absolutely did not want. And I can tell you that I don't like pink to this day. And there's a lot of times that I have worked with pink crystals just because of my resistance to them, because a lot of people say that if you really are like, oh my gosh, I don't like that crystal, then you probably need to work with it. And so I did that with rose quartz one summer, and I actually carried around this pink rose quartz heart, and it made me a little bit more at peace with pink, I think. I will go ahead and give a disclaimer now. If you are listening to this podcast on Apple or Amazon, you may want to go over to Spotify or YouTube and listen to it, because it has the video on Spotify and YouTube. And today there's going to be a lot of visual aids. I have, when we get into the crystal part of it and the colors, I have a ton of crystals to show. So if you want to see the crystals, not just a description of the crystals, then you might want to check out one of the other platforms that actually carries the video. So let me go on to the next part of my thing. So, important considerations when working with colors are color combinations. Think about red and green. What pops into your head? Christmas. What about black and orange? Bam, Halloween. So when you think about certain color combinations, they're going to spark something in your brain, either based on experience, on culture, or, just on associations. Like, I associate the colors blue and gold with my high school because that was my high school's colors. We were blue and gold. So when I see the colors blue and gold together, it just kind of evokes the feelings of high school to me. We talked about personal associations with colors. Just because you do or don't like a color doesn't mean that it can't still, affect you in certain ways. But just try to remember that your personal experiences are definitely going to affect how you deal with color and how you react to color. Now, when you're working with color in magic, the most important thing to remember is that intention is key. Intention is always where the magic is. So while, yes, color can be an ally in your magical practice, it's not going to be what makes the magic happen. It's just going to be another tool to use to help your own personal magic come through. So you always want to know that your intention is what's the most important part of working with colors. Now, when you start to decide to use color magic, I think it's really important to get a sense of the colors that are around you. Like I mentioned earlier, what's going on outside? What colors is nature giving us right now? Because that's a huge clue as to what we're going to be feeling based on literally what we're surrounded by in nature. I also think it's really a good idea to take a color inventory. Look around your house. Do you paint your walls a certain color? Do you hang up colorful tapestries? What colors do you see repeated in your home? And then also look through your wardrobe. Like I said, I have two pink shirts. Today's a white color. I have two outfits that are white. I have this outfit that kind of looks like a future cult leader dress. And then I have another one that's like a French crochet Stevie Nicks looking thing. So on white days, I usually wear one or the other. Today, the future cult leader dress one. So, but look through, see what colors you see repeated over and over and over again. I know I have a lot of purple and a lot of black, but if you know a purple person, you know that their closet's going to be covered in purple. It's going to be like purple threw up in there, because that's how purple people are. And I am a self-professed purple person. My husband is too, so it works out really good because I can throw purple on anything and he's not going to care. I actually just got 2 new cans of purple spray paint, and I can't decide what I'm going to spray paint, but I'm really excited because I have 2 cans and that's enough to spray paint something very well. We talked about personal associations. Think about bringing colors into your daily life. Like, for example, fresh cut flowers really perk up a room. If you bring in a vase of sunflowers in January, it's going to cheer you up. It's going to, give you some vitality. It's going to make you feel like the sun is in the room just a little bit more than it was if they weren't there. So, flowers are a great way to bring some color into your daily life. Candles are another way that I love to bring in colors. And not just ritualistic candles, just candles that smell good that I have in my house, or scentsies, the little different colored scentsy blocks. Look for scents and colors that you like and integrate them into your daily life. Another one that people really need to do is integrate more color in the foods that they eat. If you look at the American diet, the majority of people are eating white food and brown food, meat and carbs, protein and carbs. But we have a whole world of vegetables and herbs and spices that can add so many different colors to our diet. And if we do that, it is going to improve not only our mood, but it's going to literally improve our physical health. And that's a cool thing about color is not just through food, but it is possible for color to help us on a physical level. And so, it's a free thing to do that makes a big difference. So you might as well try to change some colors around your life. Paint, we talked about paint. I live in a rental, so I can't paint the walls, but when I'm in a house that I can paint, I love painting all the rooms different colors. I've had a red bedroom, which I adored. Um, I painted one of my daughter's bedrooms like a slate gray, mostly because I wanted my room slate gray in high school. My mom would not let me paint it slate gray, so I let my daughter paint her slate gray because that's how I'm mom. I'm okay. So what can I say? But there's lots of easy and fun ways to incorporate color into your daily life, and just make sure that they're meaningful to you. The more meaningful it is to you, the more likely you are to benefit from it being around. So, with those over. When working with candles, there's lots and lots and lots of different ways that you can use candles. And I have some candles over here to talk about. But whether you're using, a big taper candle or a little teeny tiny birthday candle, they can both hold the same amount of magic because, as we talked about earlier, the magic is all in the intention. And so this can be just as effective as this, or this can be more effective than this if you're putting more energy and more thought and more intention into this small, tiny little birthday candle. And that's another hot tip. I love birthday candles. You can go to the Dollar Tree and even get gold and silver candles, just about any color you can think of. And it's a quick little way to set an intention, burn a little candle, and move on with your day. It is quick and easy, and it takes almost no time at all. They burn quicker than tea lights. Tea lights are also great to work with. I have these candles that I got at Hobby Lobby that they were just on a clearance at the end of after Christmas a couple of years ago, and they were all the rainbow. So I bought a bunch of boxes of them, and they're not really chime candles. They don't fit in the candle holders that the chime candles fit in, but I love them. And what I do is I'll take like a piece of clay or Play-Doh and roll up in a ball and stick it in there and then stick the candle down inside the holder. And so that way it stays where it's supposed to be. I also like to make a bowl, like a shallow bowl, and fill it with kosher salt or even rock salt. Rock salt works better, in my opinion. And then I will stick the candles down in the rock salt and it'll burn down. And then when it's done, I can literally just pull the melted wax and the salt out, and the salt is clean again. So it kind of has like a purifying experience with it, as well as whatever I'm setting the intention with for the candle. Um, we could do a whole episode on what to do with candles, but I'm just going to run down real quickly the types of spells and qualities that each candle color has. And if y'all are interested in a whole episode on candle magic, please let me know in the notes or email me at ask@jamiemaybright.com. And I will check into, if y'all are interested, we will do a candle magic episode. So if you're working with red candles, you might want to use it for things that have to do with love, with physical energy, with health, and with willpower. Um, Red, as we talked about earlier, evokes different kinds of feelings. And when you're working with candle magic, it may be that it evokes passion, courage, strength, and intense emotions. One of the reasons that red is such a powerful color is because the element that is represented by red is fire. And when you think of the elements, fire is kind of the most in your face aggressive of the elements. It can be warming and it can be soothing, but it can also be destructive and destroy things. So red has a lot of energy in it and it has that fire behind it. So I like to use red if I'm going to do any sort of love spell or any sort of sex magic. Red is a great color to use for things like that. Orange. I think I actually have an orange candle. Orange. Orange is great to use for things like adaptability, encouragement, and any sort of spell for career and success. So if you're wanting to move up in your job, you might want to integrate orange for, getting a promotion, and then maybe a green candle for money. So I like to work with a couple of different colors at a time because I just do. That's how I do it. But if you don't want to do that, you can just pick one color and stick with it. Um, Yellow is good for spells that have to do with communication, confidence, intuition, and studying. So, say you're trying to study for a big test, you might want to put the intention of doing well with the test on the yellow candle and then burn that candle while you're studying for the test. So, it's just like a little extra energy to go towards what you're trying to achieve. Yellow is associated with the element of air, and air is a much different energy than fire is. So red is going to have a much different energy than yellow is. So think about air whenever you're using yellow. Air also, it has to do with communication, which is why it would be associated with yellow. But just think about communicating and how you can use yellow to just kind of boost, whether maybe you're nervous to communicate something, maybe you're going to do a speech. You could light a yellow candle before it's time for you to do your speech and just set the intention of, I'm going to have a successful speech and I'm going to be good with my words and blah 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 blah, whatever you want your intention to be. Green is great for any sort of luck or prosperity work. It's also good for fertility. Think about things growing in the spring. Everything's budding up and it's all green. So if you're trying to get pregnant, you might want to use some green candles, or you might want to put green in your life. It's also good for money and healing. Money, especially here in the US, because our money is green. Other parts of the world have different colors on their money, but we typically only have green. It's kind of some bluish also, but it's mostly green. People associate money and green here in the US. Blue, oh wait, sorry, green. The element that's associated with green is earth. And so that goes back to the growing and the prosperity that nature has for us and that the earth provides for us. So anything that you're wanting to do with the earth, you can integrate green with. The next one is blue, and blue is good when you're working with trying to get harmony in something, when you're trying to, heal maybe a past wound or maybe an actual physical wound. And blue is also good for working with your psychic ability. So I also think that blue is good for communication because your throat chakra is blue, and That's, if you have a blockage in your throat chakra, working with blue can help it where you find your voice, or maybe you overshare and maybe the blue will help kind of pull back a little bit in your communication. Blue is also associated with the element of water, and water is associated with our emotions. So if you are wanting to tap into maybe some emotions you haven't dealt with, you might want to work some blue into your life. When you're working with purple or violet, it is mostly going to be for like divination work. Purple has always been associated with royalty and the occult and psychic ability. So when you pull out a purple candle, you may be wanting, to tap into your intuition or seek some sort of wisdom or um, spirituality, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But purple can be great for all kinds of different ways as far as your intuition and tapping into your higher self. It's the color of your third eye chakra. And when your third eye is open, your mind and your heart and your soul are open to what the universe has to share with you. So if you are trying to do some third eye chakra work, then purple would be a great color candle to work with. White, first and foremost, a white candle, which I have right here, a white candle can be substituted for any color that there is because there is no color. If all we have is one candle and it is white, we can just visualize the color that we're wanting to work with. So say I didn't have a purple candle, I just had a white candle. I could still use this for all of the same reasons I would use a purple candle. It's just going to be using a white candle. But if you're not substituting it for another color, it's great for cleansing, clarity, healing, unity, and spirituality. The color white is associated with the element of spirit or ether. And so it's kind of like the divine color, the color of divine purity and cleanliness and clarity. So that's going to be your white candles. Black candles are great for banishing, protection, repelling energy, or absorbing negative energy that's around you. So a lot of times, if I'm in a place where I felt overwhelmed with other people's energies, I have this big fat black candle that has 3 wicks in it that I adore. That I will light that black candle and let it absorb all those energies that just don't feel right that are around me. So, black is great for all of those. Silver candles are good for spiritual and psychic development. They're good for meditation and being more receptive to what the universe is trying to download into you. Silver is also good with working with the moon. It's associated with lunar energy and it's also associated with the divine feminine. So if you're trying to tap into any of that type of energy, silver is a great choice. Gold is great. Think about, what do you think about gold? What do you think? Success, money, wealth. Yes, all those things. You can also use it for health, ambition, for good fortune, and for ambition. Gold is a very powerful color. Gold is what the winner gets in the Olympics. The first place gets gold. And so gold is definitely associated with higher achieving and success. And it's also associated with the sun as well as the divine masculine energy. So if you're wanting to work with the divine masculine energy, gold is a great one to work with. I like to work with gold and silver at the same time. They're a combination that I particularly like to use. And if I have a gold and silver, that's kind of like the duality of the male and female and the energy that we all carry that's both masculine and feminine. And then I'll pick one more color candle for, like say I green, because I'm trying to grow a new business. So I might do gold, silver, and green together all at one time. Brown is good for concentration, for stability, for manifestation, for grounding. Think about brown. Brown is the earth. Brown brings you to your center. Brown is just a very solid color. Brown is also good for any sort of spell work you might need to do around court matters or legal matters. So if you have an upcoming court case, or maybe you got a speeding ticket and you want it to be dismissed, you might want to work with a brown candle before you go to court over it, because brown also works with that. Gray. Gray is good for complex decisions. It's good for binding negative influences and reaching compromise. So if you are needing to, to contemplate over anything and try to figure out what the best decision is moving forward, gray might be a good choice for that. Indigo, which is going to be darker than purple slash violet. Indigo is my most favorite color. I consider it a purple. I guess it's its own color, but I've always considered it more of a purple than a blue. But indigo is great for clarity of purpose, for spiritual healing, for fluidity, for insight and expressiveness. So if you're having a hard time expressing what you really are feeling, you might want to work with an indigo candle, because indigo can help you with that. The last one we're going to cover is pink. Pink is great to use when you're wanting to enhance romance, have, partnership work. It's also good if you're working with children, like maybe you are wanting something for your child, you can use pink to associate it with. It's also good for anything that has to do with friendship or companionship or affection. So pink is kind of a love color, but it doesn't have to be a romantic love. So there is that. We are going to take a super quick break and hear from one of our partners, and I will be right back after this. Are you ready to experience the power of nature while you sleep? Introducing the latest innovation in physical wellness, the Ground Luxe grounding sheets and accessories. Voted one of the top grounding sheets of 2025, the Ground Luxe collection features a variety of neutral tones that blend beautifully with any bedroom decor. Their advanced grounding technology connects you to the earth's energy, promoting better sleep and overall wellness. Elevate your sleep experience today with Ground Luxe premium grounding sheets, because your well-being is worth it. Follow the link in the show notes to start your journey with Ground Luxe, so you can say goodbye to restless nights and hello to rejuvenation. All right, let's continue on our journey of magical color use. We talked about candles. The next thing we are going to talk about is clothing, jewelry, accessories, things of that nature. I personally, myself, I have this handy dandy. It's Llewellyn's Witch Calendar. This is 2024. The 2025 one is hanging up in my kitchen. But every single day, it has a color listed. I don't know if you can see this. So every day I go and check and see what color it is. So if it's a color that maybe I don't own a lot of, we talked that I don't own much pink. I also don't own much brown or red. Sometimes I will work that into my makeup or a piece of jewelry. I have a garnet ring that I wear that's red that my husband gave me that I love so much. And so you can incorporate color into what you're wearing. I even do it with my makeup. Also, I'll use whatever color eyeshadow. Today was white, so today I use white eyeshadow. So you can really just incorporate it into your body, what you're wearing really easily in lots of different ways. So that's kind of an open-ended, however you want to do it. We're also going to talk about using it in potions and spell work. Now, a potion, you may be thinking like, a about wicked witches and poisons and things like that. But a potion is really a liquid with healing, magical, or poisonous properties. So we're going to not make any poisonous potions. At least I'm not going to today. But I am all about liquid with healing and magical properties. Now, when I say liquids, let's think, what do we drink most of us every single day? This is one of my many coffee cups. I drink coffee every day. I brew it every morning. But do you know what I also do with it every morning? I I put intentions into brewing whatever it is that I'm going to drink. You can do it with tea, you can do it with coffee. Heck, you can do it with Kool-Aid if you want to. Any beverage that you have that's a liquid can be a potion with an intention set in it for you. And that can be as easy as adding some color or stirring it in one direction, stirring it in the other direction, and then drawing a pentacle for protection. There's so many simple ways that you can incorporate magic into what you're drinking on a daily basis. Now, I made a list of some different things that you can use that are natural, that you can make teas out of that incorporate different colors. For example, red and pink. There's a tea called rooibos tea, and then hibiscus. I love hibiscus. I drink a lot of hibiscus iced tea in the summer. I absolutely love hibiscus, and it makes it the most beautiful red if you let it steep for a long time, and it makes a gorgeous pink if you just let it sit for a little while. If you want to make an orange tea, you can use oranges. You can use orange lily, and you can use orange blossoms. And now it's not going to be the same color orange as if you use food coloring, which if you want to use food coloring, use food coloring. You can make any color you want. I prefer to try to make it a little bit more natural than food coloring. So I hope that you like these suggestions. Yellow, you can use marigold, calendula, and chrysanthemum flowers. All of those are edible and those all come in yellow. Some of them also come in orange. So you could use them for both. Green, there's green tea. You can buy green tea at Walmart. You can buy green tea at Albertsons. You can buy green tea anywhere you want. You can also incorporate mint. I was thinking the other day, it's kind of like a tea, it's kind of like a coffee, but matcha. Matcha is bright green. Every time I see a matcha, to me, it looks like a drink full of money, full of abundance. So matcha is a great choice. Pine, a lot of people, I'm here in Colorado, a lot of people like to make pine tea. I've made it twice and I can't say that's really for me. I love the smell of it. I'll put it in a simmer pot and I'm probably not going to drink it. But I'll drink mint and I'll drink green tea. For blue, there is the most magical flower called the butterfly pea flower that brews into a beautiful color blue. And what's even cooler is if you squeeze lemon into it, it changes color to purple. So you can get your purple slash violet and your blue out of just one blossom. You could also use violets for purple. For things that you want to be clear or white, you could use pear blossoms and you can use chamomile. Chamomile does have yellow with it also, but it usually does not turn your tea yellow. So, and then for black, just use black tea and brew it really, really strong. So you can use lots of different natural herbs and flowers to integrate colors into teas or coffees. Or if you just want to make a potion that, you make it with moon water and you let it seep and then, maybe you water your plants with it, or maybe take a bath with it, cleanse your face with it, cleanse your house with it. You can use that in any way that you want. So it's up to you how you want to integrate your potions. But I have a little kid sneaking in right here. So let me pause and see what he needs and I'll be right back. Well, we had a minor fortnight emergency, but I am back. So we finished up with using different color infused potions. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is like things that you decorate your home with, or maybe your altar with, depending if you make an altar or not. My house is kind of a bunch of mini altars everywhere. I have rocks and I have coins and I have herbs and I have all kinds of stuff. But some people have a formal art altar table, which I do out in my office, but You can change that seasonally. You can change that with, the spell work that you're using. You may want to be, maybe you're trying to really tap into your psychic abilities. And so you put maybe like a purple velvet cloth with maybe some white silk and maybe some silver chiffon. And you can really channel that higher self and intuition and open up your third eye. So anything that you're decorating, you can use colors to bring more magic with that decorating. So keep that in mind when you're choosing things for your home and try to choose colors that inspire you and make you feel like there's colors that stir emotions in us. So try to find colors that stir emotions in you because that is magic welling up inside of you. And the more you surround yourself with colors like that, the more you are just going to feel more powerful and more in control and more just kind of ready to face the day. So when you're decorating, decorate with what you love. Now, the last thing we're going to cover is going to take a little while. We're going to talk about crystals. And if you are listening on Apple or Amazon, you might want to switch over to Spotify or YouTube because there's video on Spotify and YouTube, and I am going to be showing quite a few crystals. So, starting with crystals, bum, 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 I made this document. It's a Canva doc. It has a link if you're interested in it. But I got these wonderful little kind of like color coded cards for each color. And it is from a website called Rocks with Sass, which I also liked because I like rocks and I like sass. But Rocks with Sass made a great guide, and it has all of the different colors. So as I go through them, we will talk about all the different colors. So I would like to share with y'all some of my favorite stones to work with based on color. So, color, red energy. What do red crystals, what kind of energy do they carry? They carry courage, they carry determination, they carry like a boost of energy. They help with motivation. And we've already talked about anything that has to do with passion or love or sex. Red also is very good. It's also your ground, it's your base chakra, it's your ground chakra. It's going to have more of a heavy feeling than like a white crystal is going to. And when you hold a red crystal, I can feel that it definitely feels more energetically heavy, I guess is the best way to say it. So, some great red ones to work with are red jasper, garnet, carnelian, fire opal, fire agate, ruby, red calcite, hematoid quartz. I forgot that I had hematoid quartz in my bag. Oh, speaking of which, when I was a small child, this movie called Goonies came out. And at the very end of Goonies, this lady that was helping them pack up looks in the jacket pocket of Mikey's jacket pocket and finds a bag of jewels that he had gotten from One Eyed Willie's pirate ship. And all my life, all I had ever wanted was a bag of jewels. And it was funny because when I met my husband, I told him I wanted a bag of jewels. And now I have a bag of jewels. I keep all of my polished crystals in here, and it's kind of like a grab bag. I'm going to try to see if I can get it to where y'all can actually see it. But it is so full of every kind you could think of. I was just talking about hematoid quartz. Let me see if I can find a piece. There it is. There's a piece of hematoid quartz. But see how it has that red in it? So that's a good red one to work with. Red jasper is also very popular, especially with doing any sort of chakra work. Let me reach over here and get my red crystals. These two are both carnelian, and you can see this one is much more red than this one is. But carnelian often has kind of like whitish stripes in it, but it can also not. So these are both carnelian, and I actually, when I first started working with crystals, I was very resistant to carnelian, and now is one of my go-tos. So if you feel resistance to a crystal or a specific color, it may be a huge indicator that that's actually something that you need to work with, and you need to work through why you feel resistance with it. So I also have this really cool piece of cinnabar, and it's not really showing up all that great in the video, but you can see the red in it. I love this piece. I got this piece in Denver at it wasn't at like a metaphysical shop. It was like at a geological rock shop. I had gone in to get a piece of moldavite, and then he also had the cinnabar, and I wanted a piece of both. And so, anyway, if you haven't worked with moldavite, that's another crystal that you could almost do an entire episode on. So, red crystals, good, good, courage, passion, motivation, and also with grounding. Orange is going to be next. Orange is great for anything that has to do with working with community. Orange um, makes us feel more joyful. Orange is also associated with loyalty and support. Some of the more popular ones to work with are going to be peach moonstone, orange calcite, sunstone, orange selenite, tiger's eye, goldstone. Okay, goldstone. While we're speaking of goldstone, goldstone is a complete man-made fabricated crystal. And before we go any further in this crystal talk, I would like to be very candid with you about how I feel about crystals and if they are man-made or if they are natural. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a crap. I like crystals for the reasons that I like them. If I'm drawn to them, I don't care if it's man made. I don't care if it's heat treated. I don't care if I like it and it calls me, then I like it. So I want to give you a small example of this. This is a really nice piece of heat treated amethyst that is citrine. It was a gift, but when I Googled it, it retails for between $75 and $100. It's a great piece. I'm so glad someone gave it to me. I adore it. This is a piece of natural Brazilian calcite. And let me get some white behind it. When you get white behind it, you can kind of see the yellow a little bit better. But once again, this was a gift. I did not buy this. When I Googled to see how much a tower of natural calcite was, it was anywhere between $75 and $250. Still, great piece of citrine. I love it. Now, this piece of citrine, it is heat treated. You can tell because it's got the white at one end and it's got the yellow at the other end. That's a good indicator of citrine. It isn't near as golden as this one is. This one's very, very golden. This one looks a little bit more natural, but I'm going to guarantee you that it is absolutely not natural. And I'm going to tell you, I paid $6 for this, but it's my favorite piece of citrine. And let me tell you why. This is my favorite piece of citrine because I bought this in Salem, Massachusetts at Lori Cabot's shop. And if you don't know who Lori Cabot is, she is the original witch of Salem. And she is amazing. Her store was amazing. The energy was amazing. And when I was there, I was super thrilled to pick up this piece of citrine there. So it does not matter if it's real, if it's man-made, if it's expensive, if it's cheap. If you like it, then like it with pride because it is nobody else's business and who cares about anybody else's opinion. Like what you like. There's no rules there. So orange stones that I like. This is a piece of orange calcite that I like a lot. Orange calcite is kind of cool because it almost looks like it's plastic, but it's not. It's not really a glassy. It doesn't feel glassy. It literally looks like it's kind of coated in plastic. And this one is absolutely not coated in anything. I know some stones come coated in things. This just does not happen to be coated. Sunstone is another one of my favorites. I love sunstone. It has a nice flash to it. I'm trying to see if I can get any natural light to make this flash. Not really, but these are both sunstone. And I love sunstone. I'm a Leo, so that probably explains a lot of why I love sunstone, but it's probably my favorite orange stone to work with. Another one that is often very orange, but you could also kind of do it in the brown category, is amber. This is a huge piece of amber that my husband brought me. He brings me petrified wood all the time. And like, I don't even know how he finds it. I find all kinds of like, I found strawberry quartz here. I found huge pieces of smoky quartz, giant pieces of rose quartz. I have never found a piece of petrified wood. And my husband has brought me home 4 or 5 ginormous pieces of petrified wood. So I don't know what his luck is with petrified wood, but then he brought me home a bunch of amber one day, and I was like, I don't know where you're going, but you've got to take me because you're finding the best stuff. But I love this piece. It's natural, it's not treated, it hasn't been tumbled, and it just has a really nice feel to it. So I like this. I like this piece of amber. The next color is yellow. Yellow is all about create. Oh, I forgot. The oranges also has a connection with our sacral chakra. That's going to be your second chakra from the base. And that chakra is all about passion, sexuality. If you think about it, where your sacral chakra is where all your sex organs are. It's where the ovaries are. It's where the testes are. It's above your butthole. I like to say that the base chakra is your butthole when you're sitting down, and the next one up is your sacral. So it's can also be used for boosting, sexual mood, or if you have a low libido, then you might find an orange stone to work with. I would work with red and orange personally, but you could just do orange. All right, moving on to yellow. Yellow is all about our solar plexus chakra. It is about creativity. It is about enlightenment, warmth, happiness, optimism, the sun. So all of those feelings and all of those things are evoked when you work with yellow crystals. Yellow jasper is very popular. I personally like bumblebee jasper. It's a little bit different because it's got the black and the yellow. Some people like to work with something that's called golden healer, which is a type of quartz that has sometimes been treated, but it kind of looks like a yellowish quartz. And its trade name is yellow healer or golden healer, sorry. Fluorite can be yellow. Pyrite is gold. And so it can be in the yellow category, but if you're wanting to work with, like fortune or money or abundance or wealth, I like using gold because I like using pyrite because it is gold and it kind of has that same energy as gold does. Let me see which ones I have over here. I've got a piece of bumblebee jasper that is wrapped up, but I love that piece. And we already talked about my citrine from Salem. And then I have a piece of yellow. It's not calcite. Sorry, I just totally spaced it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just forgot the name of the stone. Anyway, I'll come back to it. I know I'll remember in a minute, but I like this stone a lot. I like the striations in it. It's nice. In the middle of the next group of stones, I'll probably remember what it's called because my brain is all over the place. My kids are home for a snow day for the second day in a row, and I'm trying to hack apart this this episode within here and all up in my junk. So, green, heart chakra. Green is also great for abundance, growth, new beginnings, prosperity, renewal, love, acceptance. Anything that you can associate with the heart chakra is also going to be good with green. A lot of popular green stones are unakite, green calcite, moss agate, green aventurine, chrysocolla, and chrysoprase, unakite, malachite, jade. There's a lot of great green ones. The green ones that I pulled, this is my favorite piece of malachite. It's kind of got a different color. It's not so bright as most malachite. Most malachite is more kind of like these color greens, and I like this one because it is so dark. I just think it's really cool. Then what else do I have? Oh, Zozite. This is ruby and Zozite. That was not listed on this page, but it's hard to tell. It's green and then it has like reddish purple inclusion, which is ruby. So ruby and Zozite this is one of my favorite stones. I love this stone. All right, moving on to blue. Blue is good for calming. It's good for communication, throat chakra, communication. It's good for peace, for forgiveness, for trust. Anything that blue evokes that just kind of that feeling of the ocean. It can feel vast, but it can also feel very comforting. And anything that's kind of associated with water and emotions, blue is good to work with. Kyanite is great. Aquamarine is great. Azurine, sodalite, blue calcite, blue lace agate. Those are all chalcedony. Those are all very popular blue crystals to work with. The blues that I pulled, I have a piece of sodalite. Now, my 7-year-old, he is the most blue loving child I've ever seen. If there is a blue stone, he is going to find it and he is going to keep it. He loves blue, so I give him a lot of blue. He likes the lapis lazuli a whole lot, and I'm going to blame Minecraft for that. But anyway, he loves it and he loves sodalite also. This is actually a piece of, and it's hard to tell, a blue tiger's eye. So it has the striping like tiger's eye, but it is blue. And I had a piece of yellow tiger's eye out. Oh, I remember I put it on my altar behind me for Capricorn because we're still in Capricorn season, but we are about to be out of it. Now, by the time you hear this, we will be out of it. But when I recorded this, we were still in Capricorn season. And no, we're way past Christmas. You can ignore that Christmas tree in the background. I'm lazy and I haven't finished putting up Christmas yet. All right, two more. This is a piece of blue kyanite that has been polished, and I just love the energy of it. It's a great stone. And then my most favorite, this is I work with this every day with my throat chakra, is my piece of labradorite. Now, some people list this under green, but I like the blue flash, so I that's the one I use. This is another one of those kind of $5, $6 stones. It's my favorite. I got this piece. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can get it without messing up the camera. I got this piece. It was priced $24.95, and I got it for $8.88 before Christmas. But I don't like it near as much as I like this $5 piece. The flash on that is just gorgeous. I love this stuff. You can see the flash, and that's literally a reflection. That's light coming off my computer screen. That's not even all that much natural light. I do have windows to this side of me, but yeah, I just love this piece of labradorite. So whether it's big or small, it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy is going to be the right crystal to choose. That's all the blue that I have over there. Let's move on to purple. I'm a purple person. Don't know if I mentioned that. I love everything purple. If purple's an option, purple's what I want. Great purple stones to work with. Amethyst, totally one of the most popular stones. Amethyst is in abundance. It's everywhere. A lot of people like amethyst. Fluorite has purple in it. It also has green. So if you're wanting to work with green and purple together, that's a great one to choose. Charoite is, and I have a piece of that I will show you in just a second, is great. Ametrine is usually heat treated, but it has a purple end and a yellow end. So it's like amethyst and citrine together, because I don't know if you know that, but when you heat amethyst, it turns yellow. And so it's not natural citrine, it's heat treated citrine, but that's what this is. So um, but yeah, I don't have a piece of ametrine, but it would be like this, except when one end of it would have purple also. So it's like you smash an amethyst and a citrine together. The one, oh, lepidolite is another one of my favorite ones. Lepidolite is great because it releases a chemical that is also used in a lot of psychoactive drugs, and it's lithium is what it releases, but you can absorb it by holding it, and it can actually literally calm you down in a physical manner more than even in addition to an energetic manner. And I love lepidolite. These are both pieces of lepidolite. This one And then I also, this one's nicer. It's got more mica in it. Let me see if I can get it to focus on it. Come on, autofocus. Find it. There it is. But you can see the silver in it. That's mica, and it's got quartz in it. It's a really pretty stone. But when you carry it around, it becomes more dull. Like this one, I've carried around a lot, so it's kind of, I don't know, I guess the oils from my hands have kind of taken some of the sparkly out, and then this one's a lot more sparkly. But I like Lepidolite a lot. This is a piece of, what did I say this was? Oh, charite. And I like that one. Purple's going to be great for dreams, imagination, intuition, spirituality, wisdom, trying to be in touch with higher self, trying to open your third eye. All of those mystical type things, purple is great for, which I'm a seer, so I probably is why I'm drawn to purple. My sister-in-law, which I hope is listening to this, is also a purple person, and she is a very spiritual person and very in touch with her higher self and the spirit. And so she's a purple person, and we were both purple people, and that's always exciting to me to meet another purple person. But she's been around a long time, but I love her style and I love her purpleness. So Marla, if you're listening, shout out to you and your purpleness. I love it. Banded amethyst is also another one of my favorites. It's also sometimes called chevron amethyst because see, it looks like chevrons on it. But that's another great stone to work with that I love. I've carried this one many, many, many places with me. I love this stone. And that's purple. So let's go on to pink. We discussed earlier that I am not a pink person, but I did find some pink stones to share with you that I like a lot. So some of the stones, well, first, what's pink good for? Pink is also associated with the heart chakra. So anything, if you wanted to work with green and pink together, that works really well. I love doing like anything that has to do with love or compassion or opening my heart. I like to use pink and green together. And to be honest with you, it's really the only time I can stand pink is when it's also with green. So I usually work with it in combination with something that's green at the same time. Now, some of the popular ones are pink calcite, rhodonite, rhodochrysocite, pink opal, rose quartz, pink tourmaline, pink amethyst, watermelon tourmaline. There's lots and lots of pink. This is a piece of pink calcite that I like to work with. This is a piece of rhodochrysosite. It's got like bands on it. I care a great deal for. This is a piece of rhodonite. It's going to have like blackish brown spots in it. It looks kind of like pink quartz, but it's usually a little bit deeper. And then I showed you earlier my pink quartz stone heart that I carried around one whole summer so that I would stop hating pink. I don't hate pink anymore. I don't love pink, but I don't hate pink. So we've made some progress. But pink is great for compassion, gentleness, hope, nurturing, unconditional love. Anything that you kind of just need that feminine energy into, pink is a great addition to that. Heart chakra work, love work, friendship, anything like that, pink is going to be great for. White and clear, I kind of put together because there's not a lot of like white. I mean, there are, but like this is a piece of lithium quartz. It's white. It's a nice little piece. But white's going to be good for clarity, illumination, cleansing, purification, and regeneration. Some of the more popular ones are optical calcite, which is also known as Icelandic spar. Selenite is going to be more of a whitish clear. Howlite is also a man-made one, but it's white. It's a good white one. Moonstone is white. You can get a lot of quartz that's white. And there's white adventuring. Oh, I forgot to show y'all one of my pink ones. Dang it. It's also got white. So if you wanted to work with pink and white, pink tourmaline, that's pink tourmaline. I like pink tourmaline a lot. I like this piece especially. But so that's got the white and the pink. But hands down, my favorite white is selenite. So I've got a lot of selenite. This is a piece of selenite that I use with, I usually carry it with one of my tarot decks just to give things a quick cleansing before I read. This is another just a bar of selenite. This one's pretty soft. I've carried this one around. A lot of times it's kind of sharp because it splinters. It's like it's made of fibers. It's almost like muscle fibers, but it's made out of rocks. And this is also selenite. This is my spiral, and she is just magical. I love her. I got her on the clearance table at this rock shop that is in Woodland Park, Colorado. Shout out to that rock store. I love it, the rock shop. And I do have a really nice piece of Icelandic spar, or otherwise known as optical calcite. The Vikings actually used this to navigate because you can tell where the sun is even when the clouds are out. And you can tell if it's optical calcite because when you put it on top of like writing, you can see that it shifts it. And so it's like literally optically kind of giving it a kick in a direction. So this is my piece of optical calcite and I love it. I keep it out most of the time. Clear quartz. Just like white candles, clear quartz can be used for absolutely anything. So if you only buy one crystal in your entire life, buy a piece of clear quartz. You can put the intention of absolutely anything into clear quartz. I like clear quartz points. I have several of those out in my office. This was just one of the ones that happened to be in my Goonies bag of jewels, but clear quartz can be used for absolutely anything. Last white stone is going to be moonstone. I love moonstone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any flash off of this, but they both have a real nice blue flash and some natural light. But moonstone, as I am a moon person, I really, really like moonstone. It is just a very calming and cleansing type energy to me. So I often carry a piece of moonstone, and sometimes I keep moonstone with them. I keep all my tarot decks, most of them in bags or in like little holders, and I'll just slide a little crystal in there with them. And moonstone is one of the ones that I like to use. So, last but not least, the black crystals. Black can be for mystery, it can be for power, it can be for confidence. I find it mostly used for protection and for like banishing bad energy. So a lot of the ones that are black tourmaline is very, very popular for grounding and for protection. Zebra calcite is a great one to work with. Hematite is good. Larvikite is great. Obsidian, snowflake obsidian, onyx, zebra jasper, spiderweb jasper, lots and lots of different black ones. And once again, if you want the link, I'm going to put it in the show notes for the Canva doc that has all of these ones from Rocks with Sass because it was very, very helpful. But I have pulled some of my favorite black stones also. This is a hematite pyramid. This is a piece of black tourmaline. I actually have a piece of black tourmaline in the four corners of our house for protection. And I love tourmaline. It's great. It's also kind of like selenite in the fact that it's got a very vertical type structure to it, and sometimes the pieces just chip off kind of easily. It's not as sharp as selenite is, but it still kind of has that same structure. And this is my larvikite skull. Larvikite is very similar to labradorite, so I'm going to try to see if I can get any flash off of this. But I love working with skulls. If you have never worked with a crystal skull, I highly suggest finding one. You can find some, for $10 or under. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. They can get really expensive really quick because they waste a lot of material getting it carved down to be a skull. So they usually are a little bit more pricey than, say, like the heart shape or just a round polished stone or whatever. But I love my larvikite stone. He chills out in my office with, I have a bloodstone one. They came as a pair, so they're usually together. And then this piece I just brought to show you the silver in it. That silver is mica. Now, real mica flakes apart really easily. Like I could peel it apart with my nails, but this is a stone that has mica in it. And I found this on the ground. Here in Colorado, you just never know what you're going to find. But I love this silver sheen to this one. So anytime I want to work with silver, I'll usually pull this and like a moonstone and maybe some selenite together. So we got through crystals, we got through colors, we got through today's episode. So takeaways from today: you can incorporate color in magical ways in your life in a kabillion different ways. And color is going to change your mood, is going to give you a different outlook on things. And if you're, say you're having a bad day, go put on your favorite color shirt. It's going to change your mood immediately. And like we said, decorating around your house, it will change how you feel on a daily basis, depending on what colors you surround yourself with. So take the initiative to look at your life and look at your house and your wardrobe and everything around you and see what colors you surround yourself with and maybe see what colors you need a little bit more of. I know I need more brown and red and pink because I don't have any of that stuff in my life. I just don't purchase it. I purchase purple, as I said. So I hope that you can go out and find some color magic in your life to help make your day a little bit more magical. And until next week, y'all stay magic, moms.